Hello friends, Baltmatrix here, and we've had a lot of primes over the last year or so. We've had a Siege Voyager-class prime, a Voyager-class Bumblebee movie prime, and a Voyager-class Galaxy prime. Well, it's time for a new prime, and that's Leader-class Earthrise Prime. Now, this Prime comes to me from my good friend Grim Lockamus, aka the Chrome Tyranno. You can also pick this figure up over at the Big Bad Toy Store. Please head down to the link in the description to do that. So, before we get into the figure, I want to show you, well, this Prime, well, specifically this Prime's trailer with each one of these different molds. This Prime being the one the trailer comes with, it works proportionally perfectly. Galaxy Prime also scales pretty well to it, but there's no peg hole for the trailer to sit on. This figure is meant to have, the giant crazy fire truck trailer. Siege Prime works perfectly well. The only issue is that the trailer hitch is way farther up on the figure, so it can't really turn all that well, but with this Siege Prime, it works pretty well, so I kind of would have liked to have seen a Siege Prime trailer. And with the original Bumblebee Prime, it works incredibly well and actually kind of pulls off the 80s aesthetic a little bit better. Though the peg is really not that great. I'm afraid I'm actually going to break the darn thing. Now, taking a look at the trailer itself, first off, it's definitely a G1 trailer, and it's got on the bottom a nice little stand that you could flip out. Then you can lower the rear of the trailer, though I end up having to just open up the top of the trailer to fold the part down, and then open it up, and that's really all she wrote. You can store the gun underneath, but it doesn't store very well underneath the trailer. I just normally plug it into the inside of the trailer, but the cannon, or his gun, works. It's fine. The one thing that's cool about the trailer is all of this molding, and you could put all different weapons in here. Each side has 4 siege ports, and then a center siege port, and then this little robot that can extend up and act as the repair bay, which is so cute. It's cool. It's very Johnny 5-esque, but my only real complaint about it is that it unpegs really easily. Like, too easily. I'm afraid it's just going to break off. But you end up with this little robot dude that's actually really cool, except for the fact that it's got a big old peg sticking off the bottom, so he kind of just wobbles about like a drunken little robot. But you can flip it around like this, so he works a little bit better, though. Yeah, that still looks really weird. I like it, though. Paint it up, maybe add some blue in there like the original. That'd be a better color for it than what we got here. The other thing about the trailer is that the door hides a shield that slides right out and then can be wielded in robot mode as, kind of like the shield that he had with his Siege figure, but instead of it turning into an axe, it's just a shield / part of a road. Kind of wish it would turn into an axe again. The actual cab mode is really nice. It works incredibly well, holds together incredibly well, rolls very well, and you can store the gun on the back of the cab mode like this. Just pull that off for right now. And it's just a really nice cab mode, a really good Earth version. I can't really find fault with it other than the fuel tanks have a tendency to collapse. That's it. That's the only negative bit I can come up with. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about it. Given the fact that we've had 4 awesome Prime figures, or 3 awesome ones and 1 okay figure in the last year or so, is kind of nice, actually. Though I am kind of getting tired of seeing this version of Prime. I would really like to see, I don't know, something hog wild. It's just me being old and bored. Transformation for this guy is more complex than I was originally thinking it was going to be, and it's very similar to the Siege version. Start off with, flip up the fuel tanks, come to the sides and unpeg the area just behind the headlights, come up to the canopy section and unpeg the section that's on the, what is the door, and that will allow us to fold out the elbow and flip out the arm like that. Then once that's done, we can come to the back and flip these panels in over the shins. Now that this is done, we could take the entire front of the vehicle mode from the grill up and unpeg it and flip it out almost 180 degrees. You see the head here, and then the front of the vehicle mode. Take the entire sections that are flipped out and fold them in. Then grab the top section up here and fold it down until it snaps into place. Then take the entire torso or top of the vehicle mode and fold it around 180 degrees. Fold it down almost all the way, come to the back and flip up the prime head. Then take what will be the chest, fold it down, snap it into place. And then take the entire chest section and fold it down and snap it into place. Then come into the front of the vehicle sections, flip out the forearms and fold out the fists. Come to the back of the robot mode and fold up the back and snap it into the base of the head section. Come to the section under the shoulders and flip out these rear abdomen sections. Then come to the wheels and flip them out and fold them up and then collapse them in to form the lower back of the robot mode. Grab the entire rear of the vehicle mode and fold it down. Split the legs apart. And then flip out the toes and the heels. Without a doubt, Earthrise Prime is the closest to the Generation 1 style that we have ever had, or at least had in the last couple of years. This figure looks phenomenal. This figure feels phenomenal. If you've watched my Starscream review, you already know that I went on and on about the quality of the feel of the plastic, but Prime is exactly the same, if not better. This figure feels amazing. The only thing I don't like about the robot mode are the giant tires sticking off his butt. Nothing I can do about that. There's literally not a darn thing I can do about that. Just got to deal with it. One good thing that they do add to the figure is this nice little peg hole in the back for pegs. And then there's actually a larger peg hole here on the back so you could store the gun. Or if your stand has 5mm pegs instead of the 3mm, then you can use that as well. Posability for this Prime is phenomenal. Head is on a ball joint. It has lots of movement. Can look down that much, can look up that much. The baby blues, unfortunately, don't have any light piping, so you can't get that look going. I really wish it did. Shoulders are on a swivel for 360-degree movement, hinge for 90-degree bends. Swivel at the upper arm, 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fists do rotate, and even the hands have articulation. The hands can open and close, which is a nice touch. There is torso swivel, though it is limited due to the wheels on the back, and it is a little bit too loose for my taste. Legs can kick forward that much, can kick back not nearly as much due to the kibble. Then the figure has the 90-degree outward kick for the patented Jobby Beautiful spread. Thigh swivel, over 90-degree bend at the knee, toe and heel articulation for the transformation, and then a 90-degree pivot on the ankle. Saying that the figure is highly posable and can pull off some wonderful poses is being kind. This is a fantastically posable figure. It's just great, and I can't really come up with anything negative to say about it. Sure, there are a couple of things that I would have liked to have seen done better, but it's pretty much just exactly what I've always wanted in a G1-styled Optimus Prime figure. Size-wise, the figure is a little bit weird. It does scale with Leader-class Megatron, and I'll show you the comparisons with the different Primes here in just a moment. And it also is just a smidge bigger than the current Voyager-class series, but using the Universal Quake scale, you can see that he is obviously bigger than Quake. Something I find a little bit odd is that the peg is too low to actually have Prime correctly peg into it, and he barely fits. I mean, just barely fits into the repair bay mode, but it does work. Looks really goofy, though. What's not goofy is Prime's commitment to authenticity. So first, I gotta get my fingers in here somewhere and open up his chest. It really does open, but it is kind of hard. The only way I've figured out to do it is get your nails here on the outside of the windows and open it up. And there is the Matrix of Leadership, which does come out. Though my meat hands are a little bit too big to get the Matrix out easily. I end up flicking it out over, the entire basement whenever I do it. Though that hole, you could do things with that hole. Like add silly blast effects. And insert stupid little figures that don't belong. Or make silly movie references. Seriously, why would he have a sword eject from his chest? I think there was an anime that had this happen in it once or twice. Getting him to hold the Matrix with both hands is an exercise in frustration. This is the only way that I've gotten him to hold it, and just putting it over his head. So you could mimic the classic scene from the comics when Prime, got rid of Unicron this way. But otherwise, it doesn't really work all that well. Though I really do appreciate having the open and close hands, because that enables him to even grab the dang thing. Having Siege Prime and Earthrise Prime next to each other, you could see the similarities, and I love the fact that the two primes share parts of their transformation in unique ways. They are obviously the same character, and even from the look of it, they could be the same toy based on the robot mode. But they are completely different in terms of alt mode and transformation, but they're the same character. And having these two figures within a year is really interesting, just to see the difference and the similarities that the engineering team at Hasbro has come up with for the transformations. There's a lot of similarities between these two, but they are different enough that they are completely unique. It's really cool to see this. And speaking of two completely different figures, we got Galaxy Prime here compared with Earthrise Prime, and these guys could not be further different if you tried. Obviously this guy was made as a retool of Ultra Magnus, or maybe Ultra Magnus was a retool of this guy. I don't know. Either way, yeah, they're very, very different. Yeah, their color patterns are similar, but their transformations are very different. I like Earthrise Prime way more than this guy. And then the last comparison to make is that with Bumblebee Studio Series Optimus Prime. As you can see, very, very different designs, and oh boy, are the transformations different, but there is the same figure spins around, legs go out the back, top torso becomes the cab. So, yeah, there is a spirit shared between them. I still like Earthrise better. Earthrise Prime is by far my favorite of this set. It's going to be Earthrise, followed by Siege, followed by Bumblebee, followed by Galaxy. Yeah, these are all great figures. And MB10 for scale. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Over the past few years, we have had a ton of excellent Prime figures, but man, this Earthrise figure is just at the pinnacle. I'm not sure what else could be improved. It's that good. And I really don't know what they're going to do or what Hasbro's going to do for the next the next War for Cybertron series. This one's on Earth. Who knows what the next one's going to be? Maybe we'll get another Rodimus Prime figure. I don't know. If you've got to have just one Prime, I really do recommend picking up Earthrise Prime if you can find it. It's that good. It really is. So folks, thank you so much for watching this video review. Please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and please be sure to follow the link down below to purchase the figure from the Big Bad Toy Store. Also, while you're down there, please hit the link to my Patreon and follow me on Patreon. Your monthly financial contribution is going to enable me to keep buying figures and keep making reviews for you. Thank you so much for watching this review. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.